business.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Tell me a little bit about what you're noticing this week and what's going on.
Well, the first thing I noticed is the twins are sleeping through the night. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Wow.
so that makes a big difference in my equilibrium.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And did you do anything to help prompt that, do you think? Or
Um, I don't know if there was any, I just had my focus on it, my attention on it. Okay, because there
what
are
did
some things, right? There this week, I'm gonna go a little radical this week with this new week with putting some long thought about plans into place. Um, but I needed, in order for me to do it, the first thing on my agenda was rest.
Yeah.
Because what I was noticing, I'm not getting through the day properly. So, no matter how much energy you ball up mentally, if you don't get rest, it's not gonna work out for you too good.
No,
So,
it's how the machine works. So you gotta take
right,
care of
right. So now they're sleeping through the night, and I noticed that because my system is accustomed to getting up between 2 and 3 and 4. I'm getting up at 2:30 and I'm staying up until 4. So now I got to tell myself, all right, buddy, you know, 10 to 5, that's your time. 10 to 5, 10 to 5:30, that's your new sleep regimen.
Nice.
So that's kind of where that's the biggest thing. And believe me, it might sound like not a whole lot to most people. It's a huge deal for me.
Yeah, sleep is huge. Sleep is
Yeah.
It'll make you or break you. I have a tendency, because I was trained as a pastry chef, to get up super early because you had to go make the donuts
Right.
super early in the morning. And my brain literally, I've shut it off for a while,
Uh-huh.
and then I turned it back on because I like to get up at 3:30 and meditate. The house is quiet, nothing's moving,
Right.
So that's what I do now, is I get up that early to do my own thing. And what I have found out is my sleep patterns changed, because when I'm in that deep meditation, it's like rest. It's like a
Right.
deeper version of sleep. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So overall this week, there's a lot of practice for me was focusing my energy. Um, that's something that but I did learn something. What I learned is, here's what I learned. Okay. It's very interesting. If you were to, now, as you focus your energy, there's three things really. there's your vision, so to speak, that you visualize something, anything you're doing. There's two creations. You got to create it mentally, right? So you use your brain to visualize something, and then you go deeper to your heart area, and you conjure up your power pack, right? Which consists mostly of feeling, right?
Yes.
It's more of a feeling. Okay. Then you blend the two together and you form something else. It's like a vibration that's
It is a
unique to that.
vibration. Yep.
Right. That's unique to that thing that you're looking to either manifest or be a part of or experience, which is really cool, because then it's like a recipe almost. It's like you're using your brain and you're using what you describe, your heart or feeling or what have you. So you're using your brain and your heart together to create something new, which is unique to that thing that you're looking to experience, which is really cool. It really, really is. And me having a programmer engineering type of a mind, I work very well when I understand process.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
would imagine.
yes. So everything is process, procedure, or system driven for me. Okay. And if I don't look at it that way, a lot of times I get discombobulated. So, so when I noticed that, I said, let me see if I can do it again, right? So,
And could you repeat it? Was it sustainable and repeatable?
I'm trying to make it a lifestyle now, right? So the way that, right,
This is
right,
the meditation. This is the walking meditation. So this is like where
right,
we really go next. Open your eyes and do that.
right, exactly. So you have so for me now, it's not hard to conjure up the feeling that I need, which is I call my battery pack, right? My power pack. Okay. So I can draw on it on demand, and your brain can create images very quickly of what
Yes.
you're looking to achieve. So as through practice, I think I'll be able to grab the image, infuse it with the feeling, okay, and then observe the new vibration, and then just hold on to that vibration, because that vibration, I'm calling it vibration, I don't know what other people call it, that vibration is what's about to happen next. It's about you're about to you're about to you're about to skip into that dimension.
Yes.
Right.
I would agree. I like the way you said that. I would absolutely agree with that. I'm actually looking up this is science. Like what you're describing is actually, well, it's quantum science, right? It's a field in
Okay.
science. And we actually have information as to why it works the way it does. So I'm trying to email it to myself so I could show it to you. I was
Okay.
cracking up the first time I saw this. I was just like, seriously? Like scientists have known this for years,
Right.
but they don't relate it to the human. They don't relate it to the
Practical
human.
everyday life experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is hysterical to me. I'm like, why on earth wouldn't you?
And there's one other thing. I just had an epiphany. I was just driving home one afternoon, and actually I was in the car. I had everybody in the car. And I just had this epiphany. It just popped in my head, and I had to say it, to remember it. So I started to talk to Krista. She thought I was going off the deep end or what have you. um, so I told her, I said, and you know what? This was Friday afternoon. I said, hey, there are so many possibilities. Okay. So we live in a multiverse. Okay. And whenever I create something with my mind, I have an option to, there's like throwing a basketball into a hoop. There's so many possibilities. Okay. But the possibilities I want, obviously, is for the thing to hit the bottom of the net. So I explained to her, I said, hey, there is that possibility that exists. So if I want to actually hit the bottom of the net, I don't really have to try. I just have to become that experience, become the guy that shoots the ball to hit the bottom of the net. Okay. And the more I maintain that posture, maintain that, it's not even a posture, maintain that being, okay, right? Then it causes that possibility to pop into reality.
This is called
So,
the probability distribution.
okay. So,
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, well, how do you make that practical? Okay. And it's so simple. It's so simple. I'm telling it to you like you don't already know, but you already
No,
know.
and I want you to, because the more you can speak it, the more you can
Right.
describe it, the more you can do it. And you'll actually, every time you talk about it, it'll get a little bit more solid in your own system. The understanding of it, you're just like, right, so keep going. You're doing great.
So it's so simple, like getting dressed in the morning. Okay. So if you were to practice in getting dressed, if I would practice as I get dressed in the morning, what I would do is before I do anything, I just select the possibility. So I dress myself mentally before I get dressed, right? So I see the whole thing, and then I select the possibility I want. So I do that consciously. So eventually what's going to happen, so the secret to it is what I learned from you is that, your brain is going to make the selections really quickly, but the secret is to add the feeling to it.
Yes.
When you get the image of what you want, okay, to solidify the version of yourself that you want to experience, okay, you just turbocharge. Well, I shouldn't turbocharge. You actually bring it into reality with feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
There's one more piece. I'm waiting for you to say it. What's the next piece?
Well, you just have to live it.
Yeah, right. So as if it's finished.
Right. So you kind of, well, once you become it, you become it. So you move everything as though it's already
done.
Right. It already happened and you know what? I've read and looked at a lot of different people, and one of the things I look at YouTube and I look at like the passionate few. I look at a lot of people who are successful, and something happened in their life that caused them to become a different person than they were. So if anybody wants to create radical change, if anybody wants to change, period, it's really not a process of change. It's almost an instant of change where right? You become a different person, and you can do that. You can choose to do that.
Yeah.
By the vision, the heart, and then once you have the alignment done, you have this new vibration of a new individual, and you act as if you just become it.
And it's not you can choose to do that. You have to.
Okay.
If you don't choose, right? Choose is actually in the quantum understanding. The choice itself is the measurement that forces the particle to go somewhere.
Right.
And the second you make that choice, you're putting attention on it. You're actually what they call collapsing the wave, and you're turning the particle into light. You're turning it into a light wave.
Gotcha.
And the light wave moves faster than a particle. The light wave expands faster than a particle. Everything changes. Right? And that's how all of this just kind of blows up. And everything you just said is exactly correct. But it's not you can make the choice. You have to make the choice. That is
if you want to move in that direction. Right.
That is the defining moment. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I get it. And it's, of course, everything is simple once you get it, right?
Isn't that funny? And all the struggling and all the craziness we do, and this is so easy.
Right. You don't need to spend hours and hours and hours trying to, and when I first came to you, I talked about learning how to reprogram my subconscious mind. And I was struggling with that. Okay. For years, I knew that subconsciously there's a thing that something there, but how do you really don't need to bother so much about reprogramming your subconscious mind, because if you take the gas away from the old behavior, it just dies on its own, and you focus on the new, right?
That was the best description of that I've ever heard. Yes.
Right. It just dies, and so. And I liken it to the relationships. I was thinking about this morning while I was out, walking around. I've had exes, right? Old girlfriends. And you remember when you first got together how hot and heavy things were, and you put so much imagery and so much emotion and so much feeling and act as if, and I can see myself with her. I can and then it becomes this big thing, and then you end up there and you're living it. Then when the stuff falls apart, the person that struggles is the person that holds on to those feelings and those images and all this stuff. The person that says, hey, I'm just going to go in another direction. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like the quicker you can get there is like that person is just like another person on the street.
And the easiest way to get there is that higher vibration. It's that feeling inside your heart. If you can stick with that, you supersede all of this.
Right.
And it's literally because you can't do both at once. I can't be in fear and anger and rejection and all those negative things if I'm in love.
Right.
And love, not
Exactly.
being in love with somebody, in love with, like in my
Right.
heart, was full of love and gratitude.
Right.
You can't
Because
be both at
everything,
once.
correct. Because the power pack that we talked about, it starts with love. That is all love. Okay. Everything has its variations, gratitude and so on. But it's all really, if you come from that center, then what's not possible, right?
That's exactly it. That
Yeah.
is exactly it. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people will fight so hard with that.
Right. And that
Fight
was my
so
struggle.
hard. Yeah.
And I can absolutely say my struggle was the question that I came to you, the problem, the reason why I searched your video. Okay. I was seeking after Psych-k because I wanted to know how to change my subconscious mind. Okay. How can I, exchange it like clothing in a closet? Okay. Um,
And what did you find out?
so I just told you, I don't need to. I mean, well, I don't need to worry
It's
about
not
that.
even about that, is it? It's beyond
Right.
that. It's beyond
Correct.
just changing that. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Right.
You're amazing.
So cool. No, you're amazing.
Thank you. And it does
Yeah.
take figuring that out to figure it out. But once you get it, it's just like, it's literally like you finally remember
Right.
like who you
This is
are and
how
what
it is.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's so crazy. So crazy. Wow. So if
The
you
other
had
thing,
to say, because you said, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep talking.
maybe the last, or should I say the last, or the third thing that I observed this week was when you said that it triggered my mind, is to remember who I am. So in our first exercise, we kind of went through the born again process, right? So when we went to the time before the time we were born, okay, I distinctly remember this feeling, okay, during that exercise. I remember the feeling of who I really am. I remember I told you I feel like a boss. I feel, I feel a lot of confidence, okay, a lot of purposefulness. I feel like, hey, I don't have time to play around. You know what I'm saying? That there's things I got to do here. Okay, but I felt all the energy and the impetus and the power to do it. And then you get into this body, okay, that kind of like fits you like a very, very tight suit, and you're uncomfortable. You're trying to wiggle your way into, and then stuff goes on and you forget. So one of the things that I started to do as a part of my power pack is to take that original feeling and add it to the beauty and to the love. And it's become something I can't even describe to you. The energy that comes from that is amazing, because now it's not just the universal energy, it's the universal energy that's unique to you. It's really you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It's that internal being that we're all
Right.
unaware of.
Me. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's a lot of mind stuff. Okay. And great name, Mind Rewire. It's a lot of mind stuff, but it's, if you take the time to think about it and to apply it in a practical way every day, just a little bit, and not be in awe about, oh, I'm doing this big thing. I'm just going about my day to day to day to day. This is my normal thing.
This is
And
the
as
cadence. This is the
right,
cadence I try and get people into. Yeah.
I got you.
Have
And
to
you just
create
go
this cadence. Yep.
right. So yeah, so those are the three main things I can say that I've really observed, you know, this week. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think the progression through the understanding and exactly what you were just saying is because we are taught it's a subconscious issue. So we have to address the subconscious first, because people just refuse to believe that it's something else it could be. It's subconscious. It's like I can't get to it. And it's simply not true, because the second you're aware of it, it's no longer subconscious. You're aware of it. Now it's conscious, right? People, even that they're struggling with. And I'm just like, oh. But once you're in that place, and all of it wipes away the second you met your spirit.
Right.
That's when everything starts changing. And if you do that first instead of next, we're doing it all backwards as far as I'm concerned. If we go meet your spirit first and just sit in that energy, it all starts changing so rapidly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. You're amazing. This is awesome. And that's actually one of the things that had popped through my head this morning, was going back and revisiting that moment in time before birth one more time, just to bring that up really big again. I've been playing with this idea of the energy centers of your body all have color association and colors vibration. It's all vibratory, right?
Right.
And so you hear people in the different spiritual workings, they talk about something called a light body or the rainbow body. And even around Jesus, there's this light of aura of light around him, and usually around the outside edge of it, there's like a little rainbow. There's a spectrum of color.
Okay.
And I started thinking about that, and I was like, okay, how does that like play into all of this? What is it with the colors and the spectrum of light that our body produces, the spectrum of energy that our body produces? And the easiest way to understand it is through the color, through the rainbow.
Right.
Because it's something visual that we can hold on to. And so if you light your system up, if you know, they call them chakras, if you know the chakra system, starting at the root is red, and then it's orange coming up your system. Right under the sternum is yellow, your heart is green, your throat's blue, your third eye or the pineal gland is kind of violet, and then the top of the head is even more violet or purple, I guess. So it's literally the colors of the rainbow. And if you focus into every single one of those areas and light them up, get the true vibration moving through those areas, you produce this vibration like a rainbow. You produce this vibratory, vibrant, I mean, I can't even explain it. And then think about your spirit man. And you can't like do it separately. It all happens at one time.
Right.
But that production of color seems to open up the cells, the distribution of the cells even more, so you get more light wave flowing through you. And the body itself is called a light body, meaning it not only produces light because you're turning more into that light wave, but the energy coming off of you is like another level up, another level into a different place. And some people would say dimension, some people would say, I don't know, you're in a different world kind of thing. You're still in this world, you're just vibrating different. So you see things yet again differently. So we're going to go through the system, light up all of those energy centers so that you can really see and feel the color and feel the vibration through them. And then we're going to have you interject that spirit part of you, like really focus into it. And so you've got the rainbow body going on. You can feel the difference, and then you start really focusing into your spirit. And just notice. I got you. It's always just to notice, because I never know what's going to show up.
Right.
I know what's going to show up. My understanding of this, and I want to show you this because I was cracking up when I saw it. I thought it was the coolest thing. And this is the experiment I was telling you about. I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. If I can get this to work. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
So this is a experiment that was done, and it was done in 1995. So this is like they were playing in nanobiology kind of thing. And this is the conclusion they came to, that the light was described, so the photons inside of the thing, I'll tell you the whole experiment here, was described as having, as behaving surprisingly and counterintuitively, meaning that when they interjected human DNA to it, it did something totally different. So what this was they took a vessel, they took this, it was like a big glass dome, and they sucked all the atmosphere out of it. And what they were looking for, they were trying to see how photons react without atmosphere. What happens,
Okay.
what does photons do with no atmosphere? So a photon is the light wave, right? It's what creates the light wave. And so they sucked all the atmosphere out, and the question was, is it, you know, all the photons going to like go to the outside of the vessel, or are they going to sink to the bottom? Like, what are they going to do? They just stayed in the thing, randomly floating around, right? It was just very random. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And then somebody said, well, hey, why don't we, like, who knows why, I didn't catch why they did this, but why don't we interject human DNA into the vessel, see what it does? So they interjected human DNA into this vessel with no atmosphere and only protons, and guess what the protons did?
And they should probably mimic, or they should behave, because they were without form, right? So they're just floating around. So if you give them some instruction, they should take the instruction that was given to the DNA.
Yeah. And what was the instruction? What they actually did was they formed the DNA. They started mimicking the double helix, right? So they actually watched while these photons came into this double helix. And so they're sitting there watching that, and then, you know, how do you keep moving with the experiment? Somehow it turned into what happens if you interject human emotion to those photons that are mimicking DNA. And through all of the experiments, and it was a different set of experiments at this point, but what they noticed happened when you interject positive emotion to human DNA, it opens up and elongates, literally changing the structure of the DNA with high levels of opens it up, turns more into a light wave. You turn into this lighter body, right? People will describe it as they're floating, they feel more expansive, they feel lighter all the time. Those are the words I hear. When they interjected negative emotion, and I don't really like negative and positive, but to understand the thing that went on, what do you think happened to the DNA?
Well, it should collapse. The opposite should happen.
That's exactly what happened.
Right.
Forming matter felt heavier, right? So inside a human body, it feels heavy. It feels weighty. It feels like you're being pushed down and squished. And so the difference in staying in this lighter body versus staying in a heavy body. And then, I mean, the whole concept goes on from there. But I just thought this was like the funniest thing. It made me giggle. And then there was another one. Let me find this other one here real quick. This one was another part. This one was about structural changes in water and DNA. So they were trying to measure the states that were going on. And this was their observation that individuals trained in feelings of deep love and appreciation were able to intentionally change the shape of their DNA.
Wow.
So when you understand, right, and this is like a huge healing effect inside the body. If you have the ability to actually control your DNA, you can heal anything just by applying, what do they call it?
Right.
Appreciation.
Right.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And the scientists were baffled by this. They had no idea, because they usually keep humans separate from the science world. It's not anything to do with us.
Right.
Turns out it's
that makes
everything to do with us.
Exactly. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, because I used to, and still do it sometimes, do a meditation in love. And I've instructed people, friends that were going through some challenges. And I would tell them, hey, every day, choose to meditate on love. Okay, for a little while. Okay. And just see what happens. But, so some people have a problem figuring out how to meditate because they don't know how to conjure up the feeling. right?
That's the
They
key.
don't, right. So they don't know how to become. So first of all, I would tell them, I said, be an actor. So you have the right frame of mind. So be an actor to start off with, and then become. But and one of the things I told, and this girl, her name was Kim. I remember telling her distinctly. She was just sitting at the dining room table with us, and I said, "Try it now. Just remember when you were a baby, okay? How much your mother loved you, okay? And try to feel that, okay? Now, then I told her, I said, switch it around. You become the mother, okay? And just think about your child and the feelings that you have, and then switch it back and forth, okay?" And she bust out in tears. She couldn't handle it because of how much, you know. And I told her, I said, to meditate on that every day, okay? Try to live in that feeling. And something happened. I mean, she became a happy person. I mean, she really just, so I get it. If you really focus on love and appreciation, it should, create
It
deep
has
levels
to.
of change.
It
Yeah,
has to. And this is the
yeah,
thing, you have to start speaking in these tenses, because if you're focusing in love and you have that higher state in your body, right? The chemicals
right.
change in your system. It has to do exactly, because that's the law of nature.
That's the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can't not do it. It has to, if you keep following. And that's why it has to turn into a cadence. Because if you
Right.
keep allowing yourself to slip back into, oh, so and so looked at me funny, and now I'm going to get angry, and I got to go bust this up, and my son, 100% of the time, I'm going to go bust this up, and this guy, blah, and he looked at me, blah. I'm like, oh, my mind, please, already.
Right.
And, until you get it, you don't get it, and there's a process to go through to get the person there. When you were talking about this woman and telling her to focus on her mother and the baby kind of idea,
Right.
it's a dangerous place to tread. I'm just going to let you know this, because I know you're going to start teaching this stuff. I know you're like a minister to the word in just who you are as a person. You can feel that on you. If you had said that to me, it would have put me down the rabbit hole.
That's right, because you had a different experience. I got you.
Right? So through our perception, until you can get that to that other side,
right,
you still look at it the same way. That's why I started taking people to the beach. I have no attachment emotionally negative, right? Unless you have a negative. And I've had one person go, I'm like, oh, what happened on the beach? Let's go somewhere else.
Right.
Go to the beach, right?
Right.
So you have to kind of be mindful of that when you're giving people. And you'll even know by your own spirit what you'll all of a sudden just be like, oh, this isn't going to be a good fit for this. But finding that feeling is literally a thing. Think of it. Think of something that will get you there, because then once we can feel the feeling, we can harness it and move it into a whole nother arena.
Right. And I appreciate that. The other thing I was that kind of popped into my mind while you were speaking about the energy centers. Okay. And I don't know what relevance this is, but to anybody else, but I think it might be to me. One of the things that I shouldn't say used to, and sometimes I still do kind of struggle with, is when I get into a room or when I'm by myself, I feel like I'm different. When I get around other people, okay, I feel like I need to project something, okay. I feel like, it's like we had 2 birthday parties yesterday for the twins, kids in their class. So at one birthday party, there was all black people, right? So they're all, and then the other birthday party, there's all white people, okay. So
That's funny.
So,
this is in the same school?
Yeah, they're at the same, but they're 2 different parties that held at 2 different locations.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
For 2 different kids, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, so at one, there's predominantly, Black and Latino people there. And then the other party, there was predominantly white and Latino people there. Now, Florida, everybody's Latino. So, so I was, yeah. So
where you're at in the world.
exactly. So, so in my mind, I'm like, this is interesting. You want to fit in a little bit, right? So you want to relate. So and that's like something that I try to do. I try to relate to people so I can talk to them, because most people don't talk to other people, right? I'm always initiating a lot of conversation. So, I kind of, struggle with it a little bit. But while you were talking about the different colors, okay, what popped into my mind is that if I can walk around with my colors on, right, my light on, okay, yeah. And then instead of trying to become something, just let them see my color. Just let people see and feel my color. And then let's see where it goes from there. Yeah. Hold on. Hi. Okay. Yeah. So, let's see what happens. I think that's going to be amazing.
It's an interesting thing when you really recognize it and you do it intentionally, because sometimes you can't. Right. You're so engaged with what's going on around you. Right. But when you train it into the system, it happens by itself.
Right.
And then you'll kind of go back to it and all of a sudden you'll just be like, and you just feel it light back up and you're like, oh, wow. And I literally think we were trained not to by our lack of knowledge.
Right.
We were trained not to by some of the stuff that you've gone through. But I think literally, hidden technology inside your own body takes away the need for pharmaceuticals. It takes away the need for,
right,
like so many things. If you understand how the vessel works and you can keep it doing what it's supposed to,
right,
it derails the whole structure of what this planet's kind of built on as far as the economical craziness that goes on. You just don't need it anymore. It's
right.
nuts. Yeah. Yeah. So light it up and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what you should give when, you should, instead of saying, hey, look at my Rolex watch, or look at my, my car I drove up in, or look at, you know what I mean? Forget about all those trappings, okay? Or look at my neat haircut, okay? Or my new teeth, right? So why don't it's nothing wrong with all that, by the way, right? But that should be my presentation. My presentation should be my energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my energy with you, okay? Or you get into my presence and you should feel an uplifting energy. You should say, I want to stand next to this guy because something's good happening up here. You know what I mean? This guy makes me feel good.
This is exactly it. And people don't seem to recognize the correlation that, like, it's, I always use the idea of standing at a bus stop and you kind of walk up to get on the bus and you feel this person next to you and you're just like, ugh. And so you go stand 5 feet down and wait for the bus to come and then run up to it and jump on.
Right.
Or like you're talking about, you'll walk up to somebody, and I have people like this in my life. You'll walk up to them and you literally just want to curl up on their chest.
Right.
You're just sort of like, okay, I'm ready to go to sleep. Thank you so much for standing here.
Right.
And that is the presentation of, I think, that rainbow body, because your spirit has emerged. And people feel that, because that is pure love. That is the gratitude part of you. That is that that being that we're tapping into, and it doesn't do that being doesn't do the negative stuff. Only this being does.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm going to practice that. I'm going to practice, because even like you find like teenage girls that they say, oh, he's a creepo. He gives me the creep. Because they could feel that energy coming off of some dude that was looking at them funny or what have you.
Yes.
So
it's your vibe.
We can, right, there it is. So what, instead of me, and that's just a little something that I just took from you there just now, So instead of me trying to search for an image to project, I don't need to project an image. I just need to project that energy.
You.
Me. Correct. Yes.
You need to project your spirit.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that is the projection that's needed.
Which
And
includes all of those things.
yes. And here's the funny part about this is that is the highest form of manifestation.
Right.
It's the
I agree.
highest vibration because it is the source part of you. It is the God part of you. It is the God
Right.
particle. It is the, and if you can get that thing vibrating and get that, it will bring your physical body not only into coherence, it will heal it. That is the
Right.
miracle of healing, right? And you manifest almost instantly. That
Right.
is where, and people don't see, they have to sit down and they have to think of the thing that they want, and then they go through this process. If you are in this place all the time,
Right.
I don't have to go through the manifestation process necessarily. I just think of what it is I'm needing, and it starts showing up because I'm already
Right.
vibrating at the rate that would attract it.
Right. And you know what? That is absolutely correct. And here's what happens. Here's what happens.
Yes.
People will hit that, and I would hit it. And then you have these glimpses of greatness in your life. You have these moments of, my God, you saw me, I was awesome. You know, you say to yourself, that was so amazing. Or then people say, oh, what a coincidence. But if they hit that vibration level,
Yeah.
okay, and they don't know what happened.
You got it.
Something happened, right. And then you long to get back there, but you don't know what you're getting back to. You don't know, what did I do? You know, how come? Maybe it was beginner's luck. No, you were just open. You were just receptive. You were not judging. You were free, and you took your vibration up to that high level.
Neil,
And
I
then
really think you have to recognize it as the spirit part of you, and you have to say, that was my spirit.
correct. And you're absolutely right. But I'm just saying, most people, or me in the past,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. Right.
Me too. Me too. I didn't
Right.
know. But when you
So
start paying homage to that part of you, and you start,
absolutely,
it will emerge more. It will come
right.
through more.
You want to live there. You want to live in that place, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. So which is cool.
It is cool, and it's so much easier. It's so much easier. So let me show you what I do, how I focus my attention and awareness to turn on these centers to produce the rainbow effect. We'll get that going. I was playing with this the other day and the idea of holograms, and we won't go into that because that got kind of crazy at this point. But what I did was I ended up focusing this rainbow and like trying to pinpoint all of the projections of all the different energies of the spectrum of the color into one place to make my own little laser beam.
Right. Gotcha.
Playing with energy, right? I don't know what I was trying to do with it. I was trying to produce a hologram. I do know what I was trying to do with it. But that projection and that pinpointed ray of light, you can literally shoot it at things. You can shoot, and I'm not shoot it at things. My intention to create my app for my Mind Rewire, I'm creating an app right now, and I have this rainbow spectrum of light. I'm just pointing it straight at it, and I cannot believe the response before this thing is even built that I have gotten for that. And I'm putting it out there, but not in such a way that I would expect the response I've gotten. I'm horrible at advertising, right? And so people finding me through just the feeling has been my kind of way of operating. It's been my whole. So
I'm gonna catch you at something. You just said something.
Go ahead. Bring it out.
Did you hear what you said?
I didn't.
I'm horrible at advertising.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the point was, I like advertising how a normal person, like Facebook, Google ads, blah, 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 blah. My advertising is my rainbow body.
Okay.
That's what it's turned into. So, and you're right. I shouldn't say I'm horrible at advertising because I'd probably be better at it. I don't like it. I don't like the.
I'm messing with you.
I know you are, and I'm trying to explain it in such a way that it makes sense.
I get it. Yes.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, because every time you do that, you lower your vibration, and then you have to tune it back up, but you can like take that and pinpoint it, and then you would shoot it at the gateway that you're talking about creating, right? And so it just like sends the energy to it, and then it brings that closer to you faster. And that's like I think that's manifestation on steroids, is when you do it through the rainbow body, and you can actually target
Right.
pinpointing what it is you're. Am I making any sense? I see you trying.
I'm like, let's get going. Let's get it on.
All right. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Do you know the chakra system? Do you know? Have you seen it?
No, I've seen images of it. You know, the person with the legs folded and the different colors, but you know, I've never paid attention to it. And then, like the whole Christian upbringing thing, you know, chakra sounds like, you know, witchcraft, right? So,
Unfortunately, yes, and that's why we
right,
started calling them energy centers.
right,
It's less scary to people if you say energy. And they're measurable is how we know they're there, right? It's not like it's
really.
yeah.
What do you mean
You have
they're
energy.
measurable?
The energy that comes that's emitted from these centers is measurable.
Wow.
And so, like the heart, we know you're an electromagnetic being, right? It's the expression
Correct.
of how the system works. And so when you go into these high levels of feeling, and Joe Dispenza has done a ton of work on this, measuring the electromagnetic field. And so through the heart, and him and Heart Math Institute, ton of work on this. The heart itself, the electromagnetic projection can be up to 8 meters outside of your body.
Wow.
So when you say you're projecting, right, that feeling and you want somebody to feel you, you can literally sit, and this is horrible to say this, but and horrible is not the right word. You're catching me on all kinds of crap today. Sitting at a bar, trying to get the bartender's attention, and my husband and I would sit there and project our energy to him so he would turn around and look at us. And it just turned into this game, like how fast can you get his attention? I bet I get my drink faster than you get.
Nice. Okay.
And I just like silly things like that, but because of the projection, and you can blow the energy out so big, and when you're aware of it, you can actually utilize it to attract things to you. I also noticed that inside of that high level of energy, and this is, but we'll take this a step further just because I know you're going to get it instantly. You can turn water into wine. I've never done that, but I can neutralize alcohol really effectively.
You've mentioned that to me before.
Yeah. So inside of
awesome.
this huge feeling of, right, the huge feeling of energy, that's where that occurs.
I got you.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
So the energy itself comes up through the system. These energy ports, let me show you this real quick so we can have a visual on it. I'll share my screen again. So I just pulled this offline. All you got to do is look up chakras, and 100 of these images.
Thousands of them. Yep.
Right. So root is right at the perineum, right at the very base of your body.
Right.
Sacral is where is considered like belly button, about 2 inches below, and then dead center in your body. It's what they would call in the martial arts the chi point, that energy center, right? Solar plexus is right underneath the rib cage. And don't think only front of the body. These images are very misleading. These aren't really associated with like the front of the body. They're actually associated with your spine.
Right. They're the centers. Yeah.
Right. The nerve centers. Okay. And then heart obviously is the heart. And people always think their heart's off to the left because of the Pledge of Allegiance and some of the ways we were taught. Your heart's dead center. And they'll say, no, just the energy center is dead center. Look up where your heart is physically in your body. Know where your organs are. It'll actually help you get there easier. Throat's right here. Third eye is right between your eyes, but it's not really between your eyes. It's between your eyes back and down a little bit. And think pineal gland.
Correct.
That's third eye.
Okay.
Crown chakra is right at the top of your head. Right? And you can see the rainbow, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv kind of idea.
Right.
Planted in my head, the rainbow colors.
And you're saying that all these centers produce a certain amount of energy.
They produce
measurable energy.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, and you can measure it. They have these little things that measure. I don't know what Joe was using to measure it. He probably has really technical, advanced equipment. But you can get little like Radio Shack kind of things to measure frequencies, like coming out of the light socket kind of thing. And they'll start produce energy in your heart. And there's people playing around in their backyard trying to measure their energy from different,
Wow.
I don't know how you separate it, right? If you're like measuring heart energy, how do you know you're just on the heart because they're so closely,
Right.
I don't know,
Right.
but they say they're measuring different energy points. So we know there's energy coming from them. We know they're real. We know that it produces this effect. And then if you go looking back through all these sacred pictures and different things from like all the way back from, you know, like go back as far as you can think, there's all kinds of pictures where they have rainbow bodies drawn around them. And
Right.
from Buddha to Jesus to all of these different, what they call ascended masters, they all
Right.
project the same kind of rainbow body. And
Right.
whatever.
Even in the Catholic Church, they have these drawings. Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think no matter what the belief system is, if you understand how the physiological part of it works,
Right.
you can affect your own life with it. And that is the point. That is
Right.
the point. So you start at the bottom, we start at the root, and what you're going to do is you're going to project your attention and your awareness straight into the root, right? And remember, that's perineum. That's like pelvic floor, right at the base of the pelvic floor. And you're just going to shoot your energy there. Your awareness held into that place will put your energy there until you start to see this red glow, until you start to see this red energy, or you can feel it. And then you're going to come up one, and you're going to be right there in the sacral area, right behind your belly button, a little bit down. Focus all of your attention and energy into it until you start to produce this light wave. And then we come up another one. We're going to do that all the way up the system until you can get this rainbow effect going on. It's interesting sometimes when I start doing this, normally the first thing I see is green. Everything is green.
Huh.
And if I sit there for a couple seconds and just keep focusing into it, all of a sudden everything goes rainbow. And then I'm like, oh, and it feels different, like the wave itself, because you've got all the interjection of the different waves of light through the different colors, and it just feels different. You'll know that you know once you've got it. And then we'll go, once you've got your rainbow, you're going to let me know, and then we're going to go backwards in time and step before the womb one more time and just kind of hang out in that energy in your rainbow. So you've got your human in the rainbow light, your spirit's already there. So it's just going to amplify the effect.
I got you.
That makes sense?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I'm visualizing as we're speaking.
Okay.
So.
All right. So 3 big breaths in, 3 huge inhales. We're going to go straight into it. Big expansive inhales. Nice long deep exhales. As you're inhaling and exhaling, you're just letting the body relax, preparing the system. We'll start by getting into coherence. So you're going to put your hands over your heart space. Bring all of your awareness as you're inhaling and exhaling, all of your awareness to your heart. Go right into noticing those deep feelings of gratitude, of joy, of love. As you're inhaling and exhaling, you're just bringing the oxygen and energy up through your system all the way to the top, and then exhaling and releasing it all the way down. Exhaling a little bit longer than you're inhaling. I'm going to do one more big breath right there inside your heart space. Huge inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to bring your awareness all the way down to the perineum, all the way down to the pelvic floor. Just place your awareness, all of your focus in that place. Noticing the energy, try and feel the energy of this area. We're looking for that special vibration of the color red, that part of the rainbow. Really feel it, really be there, try and find it. Notice what it feels like. Engage with that vibration. All of your focus there, all of your attention there. You want to make that feeling even stronger. As you inhale, you're pulling the energy up into the system, and as you exhale, you're releasing it and letting it move through you, around you. On your next inhale, I want you to bring your awareness up into the neck center, that chi point, that energy point, behind the belly button and down just a little bit. Look for that vital center. It's powerful. It'll actually turn on your whole core. All the little intrinsic muscles and tendons. It'll turn every one of those back on. Feel the strength in this place. Put all of your attention there. All of your focus there. And we're looking for the vibration, for the frequency of the color orange. And you just want to hold your focus there until it turns orange. Really notice that. Be there with it. Feel it, feel it, feel it. As you're feeling the energy move through that center, notice the one below it. See how the colors seamlessly stack on top of each other. The vibrations seamlessly flow with each other. Aligning these energy centers so they're in perfect alignment. And as you inhale, bring your awareness right up underneath your ribcage. Focus all of your intention, all of your attention into the solar plexus, into this energy center. And we're trying to find the feeling of the vibration of the color orange, or I'm sorry, yellow. Yellow. Really feel it. Be there with it. Focus all of your attention to it. Allow that energy to shoot out the front of your body, out the back of your body. Pulling the two below it into alignment, perfectly stacked on top of each other. And as you look down through your body, you see the spectrum of red, orange, and now yellow. Feel the vibration in your body. On your next inhale, you're coming back up into your heart space. Feel the vibration of the color green. Find that frequency. Tuning your heart to this frequency. Feel the magnetic pool inside your heart, aligning and attuning the rest of these energy centers. Perfectly stacked on top of each other, in alignment, raising the vibration of your physical body. As you inhale, the feeling grows and gets bigger, and as you exhale, it moves through you, around you. On your next inhale, you're going to bring it up to your throat. Let the energy pour out your throat, out the front, out the back. We're noticing the vibration of the color blue. Feel that feeling inside your body. Notice it opening, aligning and attuning with the ones below. As you inhale and exhale, the feeling gets bigger, these vibrations get stronger. And on your next inhale, pull it all the way up into the pineal gland, the center that's known as the third eye. We're looking for the vibration of that indigo color. Find that frequency. As you exhale, it moves around you and through you, aligning with the other centers. Notice what your body feels like. That vibration of this rainbow stacked inside of you. Make that feeling stronger. Let that vibration grow. And as you inhale, bring it all the way up to the top of your head. Looking for that violet vibration, color violet. Very high vibration. As you inhale and exhale, you're just feeling this energy pouring out of these centers from the front of you and the back of you, from the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top. Creating this electromagnetic beam. Visualize your DNA just opening up, turning more into light. Notice it. Pay attention to it. As you inhale and exhale, you're noticing this rainbow spectrum. Really be there with it. All of your attention's on it. All of your focus is on it. With your awareness, you're going to put the awareness itself back in your heart, but you're still watching the rainbow. Still noticing the spectrum of light emerging from your system. And from your heart space, we're going to let that open up. Just notice yourself in this space with no boundaries, no borders. This rainbow light body floating in a field of infinity. And just locating that spirit being, that part of you. Go straight into love, gratitude, huge feelings beyond description. Meeting God inside of you. Let the two become one. This physical light body covered in this rainbow spectrum of light merges with the spirit. More aware of your awareness of the spirit, of this rainbow body. This presence within you. Be in awe, amazed, and remember who you really are. And I want you to think about something, pick something that's already in your field of awareness that you're manifesting, that you're working on growing in your life. And I want you to focus on it with this field of energy around you. In this light being state, focus on the thing that you're working on, that you're trying to manifest in your life. Hold your focus on it until it appears in this rainbow body also. Your breath moves energy, so remember your breath. Nice big inhales, nice deep exhales. Moving and generating this energy. Putting all your awareness and attention on what you're manifesting. I want you to notice when you feel like you can see it as if it's complete. Totally finished. It's already done. Once it's finished, go into that deep gratitude. You're already in gratitude if you're seeing it as if it's finished. Make it bigger. Make the feeling grow. See the gratitude inside this rainbow light. Notice the joy. Notice the deep sense of love. Inhale and exhale. When you're ready, I want you to open your eyes, but don't let any of this go.
Okay.
Then I want you to get up and go walk around for a second.
All right.
Go and just take a look at things, touch things, feel things.
All right.
What'd you notice? Can you still feel it, first of all? And then what'd you notice?
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, the first thing I noticed, I almost laughed, is that as we were going through the chakras, my stomach was like grumbling, like,
It's like, what do I do with this energy?
I'm like, shut up, guys. So, but what I felt was more than colors. I was able to feel the energy pulsating from the centers.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I got to second one, my chi area. Okay, because I used to do martial arts for a number of years, old style martial arts, and I forgot what it felt like. Um, so so I could actually feel that energy, um, and then as we went up, and it got to the pineal gland area, or where it is back here, I really, um, I felt like this pulse wave of light just going out. So the energy, um, you know, I can imagine it, but what I'm starting to do, you know, my imagination is quick, it's sharp, it's bright, it's beautiful. That's because I've been practicing all my life, right? What I'm learning from you is the feeling part. I really starting to hone in, and it's amazing.
It's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, the feeling is, I mean, you can do so much if you can feel a vibration and actually tune into it and decipher it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
crazy interesting.
I wish somebody had taught me this growing up as a kid, you know?
Me too. If I had known, yeah, if any of us had known, right?
Right. Right.
But I
Yeah.
also, I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on, just history and listening to a lot of, history teachings on look what happened to Jesus. He's a good example because he
Right.
was teaching. This is what he was teaching. I'm pretty sure this is the kind of stuff he was teaching,
Right.
and it's what got him killed. Right? It's what so many before him. Even it's crazy, and they'll call you a heretic. They'll call you a lunatic. It's the stuff that
Right.
I hate the people who there's a name for them, the people that are kind of in charge of the country on a conspiracy theory kind of level.
Okay, the Illuminati type people.
Yeah, they don't want us to know this because it's how they operate.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And even in the church, even if somebody had taught me, hey, you know, we're going to be, you know, you want to be filled with the Holy Ghost. Okay, I get it. But it's a feeling. That's where it starts, and
It
how to pay
starts.
attention.
Yeah,
Right, and how to pay attention to the
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
But nobody taught that. You
No,
know, you just
no, they teach you giggling. I don't even know what we were taught in our church. We were taught to literally stand still and be afraid.
right. Yeah, exactly.
It's so
The whole
weird.
church system is fear based, you know, teaching. Yeah, God
Well,
gonna
the
smite you
teaching is
dead.
fear-based, but we were literally taught that the Holy Spirit came in there and knocked you over.
Mm,
It was so, I mean, the whole thing was just weird. I was just like, well, why would you want that to happen if it's going to embarrass you and scare you? Why would you?
right.
I don't know. And as I got older, I actually went to a church, and I mean, they were just all, but they were trying to force it to
Yeah,
happen.
push you over.
And then, so of course, it didn't happen. People were getting hurt, falling over, and we weren't healing things. We were hurting things. It was silly. It
Right.
was so silly. But yeah,
Wow.
if you can tune into the feeling, it's there automatically.
Right. Right. And that's the thing we have to get. That's the thing I have to get, bring my awareness to, practice every day. Because I've been practicing visualization since, I don't know, I was a pup. So, like I said, my mind is quick when you get there. But that feeling, to couple the feeling and then, get the energy that goes along with it. Feel that vibration that's unique to that thing. Like just now when you said, hey, think of something that you're working on. Okay. So I went ahead and selected something that I'm working on. Okay. And so then I coupled that feeling, the imagery, and the spirit together as one to become that thing.
Yes.
So now I've become that new thing. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's it.
And when I initiated it, the funny thing is like I felt like something is grabbing me to like, no, you're leaving me behind. Like you're.
What do you think that was?
I don't know. That's just the old. That's just the old. Person.
It's your human.
Right. So that's just so weird. But all right.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm not going to show anybody these sessions because they're going to say I'm weird. But
and I don't know. I don't know. I've had a few people let me take sessions like this that were just so profound, and actually, and I'll put a screen over it, but I'll host it on YouTube and let other people listen in, because it's an interesting difference when you're hearing somebody else. Like you went through and described all of this beautifully, and you used different words than I would use, and somebody else will click into those words and go, oh, that's what she
Gotcha.
or walking through a process, and they'll hear you describing it afterwards, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, because it all of a sudden start clicking for them.
I gotcha.
And it'll be the right person at the right time if you find somebody you can share it with.
Right.
I would lose that part about they're going to think I'm weird. It is how your soul progresses, is to get above that thought. I really don't care what you think of me at this point. It's not about that anymore. It's about getting you to progress so we can progress this planet. So we can progress as a community of people. That's what it's
together. About. Right.
Yeah, think I'm weird or not. And I tell people all the time, walk with me into the world of the weird. Give me like 5 seconds and I'll show you something different. But if you're still in that place where you're just like, okay, you're a lunatic, and I'm just going to be like, okay, next. Because I can't reach you, right? You're not going to be able to reach that person. They're just not there yet. And it's fine.
Correct. They're not ready. Right.
Yeah, they'll come along. They'll be there soon.
Yep.
You're fun.
No, we're fun.
We are fun. That was awesome. That was a great way to start a Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's a great way to start my week. I tell you, the other thing I'm noticing is that, I'm not disturbed. My peace is not disturbed very easily anymore.
That's cool.
Because, I'm living with someone that is not on the same page as I am right now. So, and it's been that way for a while. So there's used to be a lot of disturbance on my part, where something would happen, and it might not be anything much. Okay, it's like you may start the car up a certain way. Okay, and I would go through the roof. Like, why did you do it this way, or why did you do that, or why did this happen this way, or whatever. But now I feel like there's not even a response that's coming into my head. I'm just, things happen, and I'm just like, well, that's not even important. It's like a blank. Okay, well, let me just keep going where I was going, and then I'm noticing that, sometimes, um, I think sometimes she would probably notice that I'm behaving differently, right? And go, well, hey, you should have been upset here. She didn't say that, but I could tell that puzzleness is going on, or you should have responded, but I just keep going. So, which I think is really cool. It's a great, way to, um, to have a a a harmonious environment that causes you to, manifest what you need to. The
You and I
little.
think it's just the ultimate way to live
Right,
in a state of
right.
peace. I had a guy send me a text message the other day because we just went through his first session, and he goes, he is asking how I am, and then he goes, I'm still happy. He's blown away that he's happy. His happiness hasn't left him since the first day. And he goes, actually, my wife just asked me yesterday, who are you? Because I'm so lovely. He calls himself lovely. I'm so lovely now. There you go.
That's awesome.
That's the perfect
Yeah,
answer. And his wife
that's
is like,
awesome.
what the heck just happened to you?
Right. Well, it's
So
profound when you're ready to accept who you are. You are a beautiful being. You really are. You have different purposes, each of us, but at the core of us, we're the same. And we're beautiful.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're gratitude and we're love, that higher vibration.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think totally. I had the experience that you're kind of talking about, where you get to this place where it's just peace and everything is
Hmm.
just peace, and you reside in that peace.
Hmm.
And I was sitting down one day, and my husband looks at me. He goes, "What do you think?" And I remember sitting there going, like nothing, like there is nothing in my head.
Right.
Not thinking about anything. I'm just sitting here.
That's hard to do,
It's not. It's easy to do. In peace,
Well,
there is nothing else.
yeah.
In true peace.
So, correct.
True.
Maybe I said it the wrong way. I practice something called reset. Okay. And it's a form of meditation, but I don't know. I kind of evolved to it on my own. And so you have thoughts, and then you have space between thoughts, and you find the space between the thoughts, and you think of nothing, hear nothing, blah, 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 blah. So I would literally practice that, a few minutes every day. And it's amazing what it produces. It produces a true reset, in the middle of the day or at any time. You just, you stop and take it like a drink of water, you know, for about 30 seconds or 2 minutes. And it absolutely works.
Oh, yeah. Well, and think about what you're doing. You're putting your focus into finding that space in between the thoughts. And so what does that
Right.
produce? Just because your energy and focus there, you're going to produce more space.
Right.
And then if you find the feeling of it, you can just be it all the time. Be the...
You see, there it is. That's the missing, and that's what I was about to share with you. What I'm learning to do now is, I would go totally blank. Okay. So again, I was living in my head, right? So head says, here are these thoughts, something, 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 find the space between them and be there. But in that space, there's a vibration, there's a feeling, there's an energy that resides there. Find it, right? So that's what I'm going after.
And make it peace, right? You can actually take a vibration into that space and create whatever feeling you want in it. If you want to complete something, make it gratitude.
Right.
Gratitude
is a completion. Right. Complete the loop. Right. Got it. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I get the visual part. Again, this is like yin and yang. This is perfect. I was missing the yang, right? It's like bacon and eggs. I'm missing the bacon.
I think that happens a lot, but we're so taught not to feel. We're so taught, don't cry, don't laugh too loud, don't yell when you're mad, don't.
I remember
And
my
so
dad distinctly would say, if you cry, I'm going to really give you a spanking. Okay. So you get, you suck it
right?
up, right?
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
instead of saying, hey, what's the matter? Why, what are you feeling? What's causing you to do this? Why, what's really bothering you? Okay. To really try to understand, you know, I always hear, big boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. You're a big boy now. You don't cry. Okay. So, but now I
so,
know different.
so bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And just imagine what you're going to train into your kids. Those twins are
Oh,
going to be like
absolutely.
incredible little beings. They already are incredible little beings, but
Right.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's going to be an amazing journey.
Yep.
All right, my friend.
All right.
Questions,
Well,
thoughts,
thank you.
concerns, feelings? I should add that to my
No,
list.
I
Feelings.
know, right? No, we're on the same vibe here. I can tell. You're bringing me up there, so I appreciate you very much.
Very welcome. I
Yeah.
appreciate you also. I think it's just the operative. And if you can walk around in it, it'll start, your wife will start catching it. Even if she doesn't know what she's
Right.
doing, you can turn hers on
Right.
just by turning yours on.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that's important to all of us and to everyone we're around in every environment that we're in. And that's the reason why I got so excited just now when I said, hey, I know what to bring with me when I go into an environment. I go into a room, I just need to bring me, the spirit side, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
In its full glory. Yeah.
right. So
And
I get it. So I can't wait to get to work tomorrow, and I'm just gonna, hey, and let's see how my energy permeates, the room permeates where, because yeah, when you're able to bring your energy into a space and your energy is correct, or, it's what it should be, right?
yeah.
Then you see the harmony in each environment grow.
Yeah. And that's it. What do they call
Right.
that? Entrainment? The room will entrain to the highest frequency always.
Nice.
Always, right? They've done experiments on that too, where you can see the little thingies swinging back and forth. They get those, what do they call them for the like piano tick, tick, tick? You know what I'm talking
Pendulum.
about?
Pendulum.
Yeah, but there's a word that they use for the ones that they use for like setting. My brain
But
is
like
gone.
when
I'll look one up and I'll find it for you. What'd you call it?
when you're trying to tune an instrument or something like that.
Yeah, there's like it'll set it to tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick. Or you
Yeah.
can do it
I know.
fast, right? They put all
Yeah.
of those, bunch of those in a room, all like spaced evenly apart in rows and stuff, and they just went around and hit all of them randomly. So they're all doing their thing, and then watched over time to see what they would do. And it took a little bit, but all of a sudden every single one of them came into harmony with each other. Every
Nice.
single, there was like one at the end of it that was still kind of fighting the rhythm for some reason, but eventually even that one all of a sudden started coming into tow with the rest of them. And the idea is called entrainment, that the highest vibratory thing in the room. They've even done this with clocks with like huge pendulums underneath them, and then some with small, so they're all different sizes and weights. Every single one of them, it didn't matter the size, it didn't matter the weight, every single one of them came into attunement with the strongest one, the highest vibration. And it's that field of energy that they push out when they're swinging. Eventually, everything in the room has to come into coherence with whatever the highest vibration is. So if you're in an office space that has super low vibrations and the highest vibration is anger,
Right.
guess what your whole office does?
Right. It becomes that. That's why they say that your organization is a reflection of your leadership, right? So because
100%
people
of the
when
time.
when they get into the leadership space, they get around their leader, they kind of have a receptive. They become receptive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to influence everything and all the time. I'm just going to be on all the time. I listen to, I used to be a big Trump fan before he became president. Okay. And one of the things he always talks about is energy. He's like, you got to have energy. The highest energy always wins. Highest energy wins.
He
Yeah.
knows.
He says
He
it
knows
all the
how
time.
this works. Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and that now you explain why. So, which is awesome.
And that is how it works. That is,
Yeah.
yeah, like him, love him, or don't. The man knows how it works.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. All right, my
Alrighty.
friend. Next
Okay.
week,
Mm,
think of something specific you want to work on.
okay.
We'll go back through your list that you originally created and make sure every bullet point is ticked off.
Okay.
Right? You want to go back through that and make sure there's nothing left, because if we don't change the cycle, eventually it'll cycle back around. So we want to make sure everything is ticked off. We want to make sure it's all coded. But think of something that you want specifically. Dig. Either something that you're still like, oh, I just found this in there and I didn't realize that was still there, or something that you're like, I really want to see if I can reach this level.
Okay.
And we'll see what we can do with it.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Blessings
All
to you.
right.
Thank you so much
Same
for
to you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very
Take
much. All righty. Okay. All right. Bye.